Hi, teachers. This is the introduction to spelling for lesson 2. The first thing I need you to do is to go to the Pathways to Reading website and go to the video library. Your password is MANN 2012. That's MAN with 2 N's, 2012. Then you're going to go down to the phonics guides, and I want you to watch the modeling of CK. This is where we help children learn whether they spell the k sound at the end of a word with a K or a CK. All right. Um, in your resources in Google Drive, when you go to Block 1 Reading Resources, Spelling Level 2, I've given you a print lesson that you can download if you would like to read through the lesson and practice it. It gives you kind of a script, but the idea isn't to read straight from the script. It's to give you the language, okay? This was, not everybody uses the online resources, but it helps you learn the language. At the very end of that, there's also a little cheat sheet that shows you exactly how the word should be segmented at the end. So you've got a lot of support here. If you would like to print this off and have it close by while you're doing your lesson, you are more than welcome to. Put it on a clipboard, just don't let the kids see it. That way you can help yourself and make sure that you're feeling confident and comfortable with what you're doing. Okay. The other thing you're also going to have in your resources is going to be some PowerPoints. Okay. So lesson 2, day 1 is what we're going to look at first. Okay. And the first slide is all about being a thoughtful speller. Okay. There are 3 things that thoughtful spellers do. The first 2 are going to be ways that we help kids segment and spell words so they don't have to memorize them. Our brains only have so much cognitive space for memorizing, and some kids just aren't good at memorizing, so we need to give them a strategy. The last one is there are some words in the English language that just cannot be spelled the way they sound. So we have to have some visual memory for some words. Okay, so those are going to be like our cheater words, is what we like to call them. They're the ones that don't follow the spelling patterns. Okay, this sheet here is the one that you give the children, and I have these copied for the entire year, so you won't need to make copies of that. And when you hear me make reference to posters, I have all posters downloaded for you. Okay, let me zip down real fast to some of the posters that I have. You'll hear me refer to the H brothers. We've got TH. He's our naughty H brother who sticks his tongue out at everybody because when we say the sound, our tongue sticks out. SH is spelled with the S. Looks like a snake because shh, don't wake the snake. Our CH brother is spelled with a C, and he's the one that ch sounds like a sneeze. Our WH brother is the one that's like a whistle because it kind of makes our cheeks puff out when we say it correctly. You're also going to have this poster here where we're helping children learn when to use K and when to use CK. Notice if we have a 1-letter vowel, we use CK because we need defender C. When we have a 2-letter vowel, we have just a K. All right. The children will refer to him as a bully because I've told the children that he likes to bully lonely 1-letter vowels. So when there's a vowel all by itself, we have to put in a defender C to make sure he doesn't get picked on. Okay. So those are the posters that you're going to have. The other reference you're probably going to see is to this little guy, Screech. He's just our little phonics friend that helps us learn sounds and words, learn how to spell, and just some common phonics guides. So when you hear reference to Screech, that's who this little guy is. The kids know who this is, and they kind of love him. The only child I have that's not familiar with any of this is probably going to be Julia because she wasn't with us last year. Okay. All right, so the first thing we do is we ask our children, our first word we're going to spell this week is check. Show me right in front of your heart how many sounds you hear in the word check. And you're going to be looking to see, this is just a quick little snapshot of who knows it. It's not a big deal if they get it wrong, because if they have the wrong number of fingers, you just say, in this word, there's 3 sounds, okay? All right, and so we're going to use 3 sound dots today. Now, the important thing is you need to call on one child for each of these words to be your segmenter. We call them the sound leader. The sound leader's job is to pull the sounds apart in this word, and the other children listen and write down how to spell those sounds. The important thing is to keep everybody together. You're going to have some kids that may have some visual memory for this, and they're just going to write it out, and we don't want them to do that. We want to stick together on this, and we want our sound leader to be in charge. So nobody writes anything until the sound leader tells us to, okay? So what's the first sound that you hear in the word check? Ch, okay? If you know how to spell that sound, guys, write it down, okay? If they don't, that's okay. We're going to pull out our H Brother poster, and we're going to show that this is our sneezy H Brother. It's spelled with a CH, okay? Then you ask the sound leader, what's the next sound that you hear in this word? Eh. And we're going to say, okay, you heard it, now write it down. Then you're going to say, what's the next sound that you hear in this word? And you're going to go, whoa, wait. We know that there's 2 ways to spell at the end of the word. Write down how you think it's spelled. Watch and see how they do it. And then choose a child and ask, why did you choose to spell it that way? And what you're looking for is you're looking for those children that have that understanding of when we use C and CK and when we use K. All right? So because this word has a lonely 1-letter vowel in it, we're going to use CK. We need that defender C in here so K won't bully the E. Okay? Try to have them do it without the poster, but if they don't know, pull that poster out and let them see. Okay? We're going to build that in them. Whenever you're using posters, keep those in reserve and only pull them out when you need them, because we want the children to start learning these phonics guides and having those in their tool belts, okay? Another problem you might have with this word is when you get to that second sound and you say, what's the next sound in this word? They might say, I, and you say, oops. If the next sound was I, the word would be chick. We want the word check. Can you stretch and get that sound? Normally, that's enough to get them to change their thinking, okay? If not, we don't say, oh, you're wrong. You're going to say, oh, well, that next sound was eh, and we're going to spell that with an E, okay? Another common thing that might happen is when you ask, what's the next sound in this word? They'll jump ahead in their brain and they'll go E, and you go, whoops, you gave me a letter. Can you give me the sound? And that's usually enough to remind them to say eh, okay? So once you have that word completed, you're going to say, okay, guys, now we need to make a mental image of this word. So let's write that word off to the side, C-H-E-C-K, check. And we do that because we want them to see that word now as a whole unit, and we do want to start to build some visual memory with these words, okay? Then we're going to call on a new sound leader for the next word. The next word is the word shack. Okay, there are 3 sounds in the word shack. Ask your sound leader, what's the first sound you hear in this word? They're going to go shh, and you're going to say, okay, everybody, you heard it. Now spell it. Okay, you're going to be watching. If they can't remember, then you're going to show them the H Brother chart. We're going to find out that sh is spelled with an S-H. The S is like a snake. Shh, don't wake the snake. Okay? Ask your sound leader, what's the next sound you hear in the word shack? Ah. You guys heard it? Now write it down. Okay? What's the last sound in the word shack? All right, we know that there's 2 ways to spell that. Write down on your paper how you think we spell that. Then you question one of the children. Tell me why you chose to spell it this way. okay? We're going to spell this one with a CK because we have a lonely A, and so we need that defender C. The next word in this list is whips, okay? And that one has 4 sound. Oh, I almost forgot. Have them write shack off to the side, S-H-A-C-K. Sorry about that. Okay, the next word is whips. There are 4 sounds in the word whips. Okay, pick a new sound leader. What's the first sound that we hear in whips? And they're going to say what. Okay, you're going to say there are 2 ways to spell what, and you're looking for that they know that it's W or WH. Okay, it doesn't matter if they don't know which way to do it in this word because we're going to tell them. There's really not a good way for them to for us to question them and help them on that. And so we just look for, do they know the 2 ways? And then we just tell them. In this word, it's WH. We're just going to have to use visual memory. Okay. What's the next sound? I. Okay. Everybody write that down. What's the next sound in whips? P. Now, sometimes what will happen when we have S at the end, though, some kids won't hear the P before the S. And so you can shorten the word and say, well, let's just do the word whip, and then we'll fix it. And so then that will help them hear the sound. And so now you've heard it, everyone spell it, okay? Then you ask, what's the last sound in the word whips, okay? Notice how every time I say these words, I am not segmenting them. I am saying them all together completely, and I am making sure that they're doing the segmenting. I never segment for them, okay? All right, the next word in our list is, oh, sorry, write the word whips off to the side. I'm getting ahead of myself. W-H-I-P-S, whips. Have them write that down. Make sure everybody does that, okay? The reason I'm kind of going fast is I can only do 15 minutes, so I'm probably going to have to make another video to get through the rest, but I'll try not to do that, okay? The next word is much, and there are 3 sounds in the word much, okay? Get a new sound leader. What's the sound? What's the first sound? Great, everybody heard it? Now write it. Okay, what's the next sound in much? Everybody heard it? Now write it. What's the next sound in much? Ch. Everybody heard it? Now write it. Okay, again, if they have trouble remembering that CH, pull out that H brother poster. Show them that's our sneezy sound, okay? If for some reason you would have a child misspell a sound, like say they spelled the U with an O, you can say, oh, you gave me an ah. I need an here. Can you fix that? So, you know, this does go pretty quickly, and you're doing a lot of back and forth with the children and monitoring them as they're writing, okay? Then we're going to write that word off to the side, M-U-C-H, okay? And then we're going to go on to the next word. The next word is when. There are 3 sounds in the word when. What's the first sound? W. Ask your sound leader, what are the 2 ways that we know to spell W? We're looking for, do they know W and WH? Tell them in this word, we spell it with a WH. Okay? What's the next sound in when? Eh. Okay, everybody heard it? Now spell it. What's the last sound in when? N. Everybody heard it? Now spell it. Okay? And so this takes a little effort on your part, just kind of remembering to go through the steps of the lesson and watching them writing and keeping them all on target with you. We need to write the word off to the side, W-H-E-N, when. Okay, I'm going to stop here and I'm going to start up a new video because this will only let me do 15 minutes and I'm almost out of time. So let me upload this one for you and then I will start a new one.